So, why don't we start by introducing yourself? Who are you?
I'm Nate Nevado. I am a general counselor at Skyline College. I run the Kababayan program with several coordinators. I also coordinate the Rock the School Bells hip hop conference out here, and yeah, amongst a lot of other things.
And how are you affiliated with Dirty Boots?
Dirty boots, man. Beyond the dirty boots that I wear every day, man, I first met them officially during our time with Rock the School Bells. I believe it was Rock the School Bells 4. It's a hip hop conference that really educates the youth about hip hop culture and the history. A good friend of mine's put me on Dirty Boots, and they auditioned, and I was blown away, really, to tell you the truth. From there, I was able to kind of follow them along. Got to see a couple of their shows, Pier 23, most recently Bendel Stiff Studios. So they did some amazing work with us at Rock the School Bells. And the one thing that I really would take away from that event itself is just the fact that because it is a youth event, they really inspired a lot of youth in terms of live instrumentation. A lot of time the kids are so consumed with, making beats on machines, which I have no problem with. But just seeing kids get really excited about the live instrumentation, being able to pick up a guitar or playing a drum set or playing a piano or keyboards, I think that really sparked the interests in youth's minds that, they can make music on a whole pure natural level.
Awesome. So you were kind of going into it, but can you describe a Dirty Boots performance, live performance? What is it like, or describe the music?
Man, it's to tell you the truth, it's like a breath of fresh air. Growing up in the 90s, it's debatable that the 90s is the golden age of hip hop, right? And I really love that era of hip hop because it really reminded me of just the pure essence and the melodic tunes of what hip hop's all about. And I don't like to categorize the genre of hip hop, but when I think about Dirty Boots, I kind of think about, that jazz hip hop. It kind of remind me of the Roots and the Diggable Planets. It reminded me of the albums that Guru put out with Jazz Mataz. I mean, just really just incorporating the elements of jazz and hip hop into one. And when I listen to Dirty Boots, it takes me there. You know what I mean? It just like, I'm almost in this hypnotic trance because you're sort of kind of following the melodic tunes, the drums, and then of course the lyrics just really captures the essence of what they're trying to say. And if the Dirty Boots said, you know what, we're going to take you there, they took me there, and that's what Dirty Boots does. And I think that when I look around and I see a lot of people who really engage in the music of Dirty Boots, I could really tell that they're there. And it's beautiful to kind of hear and to see.
Nice. So personally, how does Dirty Boots music speak to you?
As a When I hear Dirty Boots, how it speaks to me is just the storytelling. I think the natural beauty of music is really taking it to a course where you could be original. When growing up as someone who grew up on hip hop, emceeing was the thing for me. Writing lyrics was the thing for me because that was the most easily accessible tool for me in terms of hip hop. And I appreciate the originality, and I appreciate the rawness that Dirty Boots bring to the table. And it's a nice break away from things that you hear on the radio, mainstream America, where hip hop is defined by sex, money. It takes us to a place, Boots takes us to a place where, it brings us back where hip hop truly originated. It takes us back to the days during the jazz age, the Harlem Renaissance. I mean, it's so multi-intergenerational that I think anyone can really listen to. There's not one population that can say, oh, I can listen to Dirty Boots. I think that from someone who's very young getting to music to someone who lived during the Harlem Renaissance days can really appreciate what what Dirty Boots can bring to music. And I think that the other piece that I really appreciate about Dirty Boots is that they're very grassroots, very community oriented. They understand the voice, they understand the pulse, they understand the heart of the community that they serve and the community that they perform for. And I think that's really why I think the community really resonates with Dirty Boots. This is why I resonate with Dirty Boots.
That's beautiful. Thank you. So what kind of impact do you think Dirty Boots has, and why do you think fundraising or helping to fundraise is important for their new album?
You know, anytime you are in a position, in a place where you can really support a group like Dirty Boots, I think that it's so important to do so. And the reasons why is because there is this social responsibility, for me, in my opinion, that musicians should have. And I'm reminded by what DJ Kool Herc once said to all today's rappers. He says, you know, my son, you got my son's attention. He's hearing you on the radio. Please help me raise my son. And I thought that quote was so huge because there's a message being sent that, guess what? Music, hip hop, it is such a global phenomenon, and there's this sense of social responsibility that I feel that should be placed on musicians alike. And with Dirty Boots, they have messages of hope, message of purity, message of life and love and community. They have so much to share with the world and so much to share with our communities. It is uplifting and it's empowering. And I think that when you fundraise a project like the Dirty Boots album, I think that there is a social responsibility as us listeners, audience, consumers, that says, you know what, we have to support a project like this. Because to get a message out there, it's so hard to get these messages to our youth and to our students and to our communities. So when you have something like Dirty Boots, you definitely want to support it. And I think that's why it's so important to fundraise this project, because it is a responsibility in my mind for our youth and our community.